We're going to the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando for a conference. In this particular case, I'm talking about the ICSC Florida conference, but this would apply for any conference that you go to that's happening at the convention center. I'm going to give you a little bit of a lay of the land as far as the hotels. I've been going to this conference for about 25 years now, and I've stayed at plenty of hotels, and I want to give you some tips on where to stay and some, I guess, efficiency kind of effectiveness tips. So first things first, let's look at where we're at. So this is Orlando, and we are at the Orange County Convention Center. So the just to orientate yourself, here's International Drive, or they call it I Drive. This is the Hilton Orlando, one of the popular hotels, and then this is the Hyatt Regency Orlando, and then you have the Rosen, one of the Rosens here, and I think there is one of the other Rosen here. So just to get your bearings, this here is where the South, I think it's called the South Hall, is where the Florida conference is for ICSC. So this is where everything's going to happen. And when you come in, the parking is here in this field. And so if you're going to ICSC Orlando, the group rate hotels are going to be the Hilton here, the Hyatt Regency here, the Rosen Center here, and this year, actually, which is interesting, they have the Renaissance Orlando SeaWorld, which is kind of far, which I'm actually surprised, but I've stayed there before, so I'll give you the lay of the land. So a couple of things. The Hilton's actually going to be your closest location walking. See this skyway here? You are talking about 650 feet from the Hilton to the convention center. So if you can get into the Hilton and you can, that's within your budget, it's one of the more expensive options. And one of the things with this Hilton is they actually charge you a pretty hefty resort fee because you get access to this really nice, lazy river pool, and it's a really nice pool area. But if you're going to, and I think there's like tennis courts around here too. There's a tennis court here. There's some walkways and things like that. But if you're going for the conference, you're probably not going to be utilizing a lot of this stuff. So I think it's a little bit of a waste, but it is super close. And a ton of other people going to the conference actually stay there. The other option, which I think is actually more popular, but it's a further walk, is this Hyatt Regency Orlando. So there's the Rocks Bar that's there, and that is like the bar that a lot of people hang out at after hours during the convention days. But if you look at the distance to go from the hotel, which is here, you're going all the way across here, 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 and here. You're close to 2,300 feet of walking to get from the Hyatt Regency to here. So I just want to warn you guys that that's really, that is the case. Now, if you, and again, this is in August, so it's like, rain, it's super hot, it's in Florida, it's Orlando, so August is a bit of a brutal month weather-wise. Now, at the Rosen Center, if you're staying here, it does have a covered walkway to the convention center, but it's kind of like a roundabout. You're probably just better off walking across the street if the weather isn't too bad. And I think there's a crosswalk here and across. So if you were to do outside, I think you are looking at about 1,400 feet. But some people have tried to do the interior, which is back here. You actually go from here to here, this other hall, and then you kind of go into the convention area of the Hyatt, and then you come across finally to the convention center. So you're talking about 3,000 feet here, which is pretty hefty there. So now, if you go to the fourth option that I mentioned, Renaissance Orlando, I've actually stayed here before to go to SeaWorld. It's super convenient to SeaWorld because it's literally in the parking lot of SeaWorld. So you park here and you walk across the parking lot and you're in SeaWorld. And the hotel itself is really nice. It's got a great lobby, some great restaurants, and a lounge and everything. Very comfortable. But I can tell you that a lot of the events that happen, let's say after hours, like the dinners and things like that, most of it is over here off of I Drive, and very few, I don't think anything is happening uh, south of the 528. And so you're going to be constantly going across. You're going to have to Uber it or drive or something. And parking's a little bit tricky here as well, just because if it's at a hotel, it's valet or you're paying for it. And even the Point Orlando, which is this complex here where there's a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of events there. It's garage parking. So I think it's a super nice hotel, but the location's not the greatest. The Hilton's again the nicest. The Hyatt is a very nice hotel as well, but just more of a walk. But it is closer to the Point. So if you are at the Hyatt and you're walking to the Point, even though this kind of looks close, you're still probably walking, 1,000 feet. So you're talking a quarter mile of walking in the Florida heat. The Rosen Center, I think if you're not too picky, it's adequate. But uh, at that point, I think you'd go with some of these other options. So let's talk about these other nearby hotels because I've stayed at a lot of them. So if you are a Marriott person like me, um, I think that the best option is actually it's called the Castle Hotel, and it's right here. It's an autograph collection hotel, and the cost of it isn't too bad actually. Let's take a look at the cost. It's the event is August 24th to the 26th. So the cost of it's about $120 plus tax and everything. So maybe it's like $130 a night. And just to give you a um, a a uh, a relative point, the Hilton is with tax and everything, and the resort fee I think is like $350 a night. The Renaissance is probably about $220 a night with the resort fee and all that stuff. The Rosen Center is about just under 200 a night, and the Hyatt is in that 350 to 400 a night, so it's quite a bit cheaper. But what I like about the Castle Hotel, let me get back to the Castle, um, right here, is that it's right here in the center of I Drive where a lot of things happen, and I actually end up organizing like my dinners. We have our dinners at Mia Italian, or there's Cafe Tutu Tango for a little bit more casual. There's also a lot of restaurants that are in this shopping plaza, and so there's Old Red, Yard House. They have a lot of things, and then a lot of people have events at Charlie's Steakhouse, which is kind of an institution there as well. So I really like the Castle. I think it's great location. The price is good, the quality is good, and it's just very centrally located. And you save quite a, if you're like, we usually bring maybe 10 people there, so it really adds up. Where else I've stayed at, sticking with Marriott, I've stayed at the Courtyard here. This one was okay. The rooms are a little bit dated, and it's you don't, at least over at the Castle, you're going to see some convention people, and you can do a little bit of extra networking. At the Courtyard, it's very inexpensive, but you don't really see any convention people there. It's kind of out of the way. I've also stayed at the SpringHill Suites, which is right here. And the SpringHill Suites is very inexpensive, but I really didn't like our team didn't like the rooms there. I think they need to invest some money in those rooms. The location's good, but the quality of the room itself wasn't that great. Where else have I stayed? I've also stayed at, this used to be a Crown Plaza up here, but they think they changed it over. It's Hotel Landy. So this used to be the Crown Plaza. Now it's the Hotel Landy. And I would say it's probably a little bit too far away from the action. I think you just, be, unless you're, I think it might be part of IHG or something, but I think you're just better off staying at one of the other ones I talked about. Now, if you're a Hilton person, you stay at the Hilton, or if you're not staying there, I think you can stay at the Embassy Suites here. I think is fairly nice. I usually, I haven't stayed there, but I think the location's very good. Because again, if you're in this kind of, let's just say from the Point Orlando here to this, this kind of center of restaurants here, I think all of these options are fairly good. You just want to make sure that the quality of the room itself is up to par. Because either way, you're really driving here to the convention center, and especially if you're going with a big group. Now, if you are in commercial real estate, if you're in shopping centers and wondering whether or not you should sign up to go to ICSC, I highly recommend it. It can be done very inexpensive, even this days in. I know it's probably pretty run down, but I'm just, if you're tight on cash and you want to just get there and participate, there's where there's a will, there's a way, right? So that's it. If you have any other questions, comment below. This is Hue Chen, president of the Saglo Companies. I've been in the commercial real estate industry for 25 years. We own and operate shopping centers in Florida, Georgia, and now Maryland. We have about 2.5 million square feet. So hope to see you out there, and have a good rest of the day.